Hey guys, what's going on? It's Thursday. It's 5:05. Just got out. Hope you're all doing good. I'm gonna let this guy go. I'll let these two people go. I'll be nice. He's actually gonna be nice, so I'm gonna stop being nice. But yeah, good day at the office. Pretty occupied, and was pretty occupied and was doing stuff that normally is very difficult for me. But today and this week, it's all been a lot easier. So it's a really cool feeling. Doing stuff that I used to struggle quite a lot with, to be honest. Now being able to do that more on a streamlined and confident and flowing, being able to do that in that kind of way, it's really cool. Kind of reminds you of all the progress that you've made, and all the progress that you're going to continue to make moving forward. So yeah, I might actually, it's very foggy in my car for some reason. Hold on. See if I can do something about that. I'm gonna have to turn the fans on, so if you hear that, then I apologize. And I just remember that my fans don't even work. It turns out it's not even the fog. Yeah, so I don't know, weather's kind of weird. It's a little dim and dark. If you could tell a little bit. I think like where I am, there's like a hurricane going on somewhere right now, and I think we're getting like the outskirts of it. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on, but that's what I've heard, sparingly. But yeah, I mean, got a double upload last night. Made the YouTube video and got the TikTok up last night too, which is always a very nice feeling. Again, it makes you feel very productive and thus very good. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So that being said, I started working on the new TikTok this morning, and so again, who knows how long that will take, but we'll get there as always, and we'll get it up eventually. But yeah, so Thursday's over with, and that was kind of like the hardest day of the week for me, at least on average in general. So being able to get through that with really not much difficulty quite at all is actually a really cool feeling. It just makes going into Friday even more sweet and delightful. So it's always cool. But yeah, outside of work, just going very well for me, and progress being made, and growth being noticed. It was kind of like an emotional roller coaster kind of day for me. Just outside of work, just with myself and my whole headspace and all of that, kind of an emotional roller coaster in a way. Ended up for the best, for the better. It was kind of up and down throughout the day. Woke up nice and early, got my workout in, went for a good run. The run was very good. It was like a gritty run because it was very dark and it was like raining the whole time. So kind of sucked in the moment, but you kind of just get numb to it after a few miles, and yeah, it kind of just made the whole story even cooler to tell at the end of the day. So yeah, good run this morning, and then going into work, was still kind of riding the wave, still kind of riding the high of how the run went, and then got to the office, I'm talking a little too fast here. And then on my way to the office, I'm listening to my podcast, and it's a good podcast. guy's very smart, and he's explaining a lot of things that are honestly kind of going far over my head, but I'm at least trying to grasp and understand and get a clue as to, you know, what he's trying to get to at the very end of the day. And it was a really cool podcast, and again, the guy said a lot of things, and a lot of things that were very smart, and a lot of things that I really haven't even thought about or had begun to think about, if that makes sense. And because of that, it was a very weird feeling that I got listening to the podcast, because I know I've talked a lot about on this channel, you know, trying to learn and grow as a person every day, just through everything you go through, and, you know, having your life be like a whole journey where, you know, you're just every day getting one step closer to finding yourself and finding the truth of everything, and really expanding your mind and your soul to the absolute fullest. And then so listening to this, it's always nice to hear new things and new truths, right, at that. But it was kind of a weird feeling, because it kind of opened a door. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but it opened my eyes to the idea that, you know, even though I've made so much progress in you know, learning about myself and learning about the truth of this whole world and life and universe and whatever else, there's still so much more to learn. And it was really, I mean, you can look at it as the cool thing that it is, right? Like, the journey never ends. There's still always almost like an infinite amount to learn and to realize. But for me, I don't know why, but in the moment, I kind of took it as like a little like fearful and more of like a negative kind of response to it, like I don't know, maybe something along the lines of, you know, I've learned so much so far, and there's still so much to learn, and so much stuff that I still can't even comprehend or have even begun to think about, again, if that makes sense. But so it's kind of like, it was humbling to say the least, but it kind of got me down in the dumps in a way a little bit, and kind of made me feel like no matter what I'll do, I'll never, you know, learn the truth about everything and everything that entails. And I kind of got down in the dumps a little bit because of it. And, you know, just saying that you can learn as much as you want, but there's still always going to be so much that you will never learn. You know, it is kind of sad, but it's also something that, you know, you kind of have to accept as true. And that's kind of the beauty in it, is that, you know, the potential for what you can learn and what's all out there is infinite, and you'll never be able to learn it all. But the beauty in that is that, you know, you can try, right? There's an infinite amount of things out there to realize and learn, therefore allowing you to have an infinite potential. So again, at first it seems kind of depressing and gloomy and kind of sad and negative, but, you know, when you kind of flip the script a little bit, it's actually quite empowering and motivating and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. And, you know, like there's so many truths out there and things to learn and to realize and to implement into your own life for the better, that, you know, it's, no matter like how hard you try, it's always going to be impossible to get everything, you know, for yourself. And, you know, that's just the way it is. But with that being said, you get to choose what you dive into and to how far and all that stuff. You get to carve your own path out of everything that's kind of in front of you and available and ripe for the taking. So yeah, that was kind of my whole train of thought that. And I think another thing which kind of combined or maybe just amplified how that little thought process from the podcast I listened to this morning, how that kind of came to fruition. It also, I think, kind of had to play a part in how I've been feeling lately. That, you know, I mentioned that, you know, work's been tough, but you know, I'm finding my footing, and I'm growing, and I'm learning a lot, and really kind of starting to fit into this role in my team, in my company more and more, and that's an awesome thing. But, you know, because I am changing quite a lot as a person in the moment, and as a professional, and whatever else I'm forgetting, is that, you know, while I'm changing for more towards this one thing, I'm also getting away at the same time from who I was in the past, you know, and everything surrounding that. And again, it's always a good thing to change in one way or the other. But the thing that kind of bothered me about it was because I really liked, and I took a lot of pride in the person who I was, and everything that I believed and I thought and I aspired to do and to be, and all that. I really did, and I still really do like the person and kind of the spirit that I was before I started work. And if you want to put an exact kind of pin in the time, I would say the month or two before I started work. You know, the person that I was then, I've kind of noticed I'm slipping away from being that person, and it hasn't really been sitting right with me, if I'm being honest. Again, even though like things are changing, and I'm growing, and I'm changing as a person, and of course it's always for the better, it does kind of bother me a little bit that it feels like I'm slowly slipping away from the highly aware and peaceful and spiritual and that kind of person that I felt, you know, I was a month or two before, you know, my whole working career started. And, you know, realizing that it kind of gives me some options. You know, the move is now mine to you know, do what I want with that. I can kind of switch up my habits of what I do on a daily basis. Because, for example, because of, you know, work starting and you know, ramping up, and me adjusting more and more, and being more shaped into this, you know, corporate professional, if you will, now. I unfortunately, like, there's only so many hours in the day that you just don't have enough time to truly do everything that you want and stuff that is the best for you. You know, if you're someone like me, I try to schedule out my day as best as I possibly can, and it feels like there's still not enough hours in the day. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people, and especially people who are watching this too. I'm sure they can relate to what I'm talking about. Like, for example, since work started, I've been a really big fan of being able to, especially, you know, since it was just recently this summer, being able to sunbathe and, you know, put my bare feet in the grass and just kind of let my mind wander for at least 30 minutes every day, and listen to my soul and all that good stuff. I really haven't been able to find the time to do that, besides, you know, say on the weekends. It hasn't been, you know, a daily thing that I've been able to do anymore, and kind of bugs me, because I think it really played a lot, along with a lot of other things that I did before work started on a daily basis, that allowed me to be and to feel like, again, that very highly spiritual and peaceful and really just purely and authentically happy person at the end of the day. And I mentioned a few weeks ago that I started, getting into meditation and stuff. And again, like I did it for about a week or two. And honestly, if I'm being truthful, I haven't been doing that for a while. Again, because it's tough with my daily schedule. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it does feel like there just isn't enough hours in the day to squeeze all this stuff in, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm also leaving out. But again, the cards are now on my table to if I'm not exactly happy, fully and authentically happy with the way that things are right now in my life, it is on me at the end of the day to make the adjustments needed within my control and influence to get back to the person that I was, or the person that I'm striving to be at the whole end of the day. So that's something that I have to work on, internally, and I'll figure it out. Don't worry about me. I'll be just fine. It's just kind of one of those weird points, I guess, in my life where I'm on a bridge in a way, and it's a bridge, connecting two different islands, and it's a one-way bridge, and I'm kind of in the middle of it right now. I kind of just have to cross to get through it, and then maybe one day once I get used to everything and I'm comfortable with everything and feeling good, maybe I can start to build a bridge back to the first island, if that makes sense. I'm kind of painting a little picture in my head of everything, but yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, because again, with my current values in life and the dreams, goals, ambitions, and visions that I have of everything, the path that I'm on now, as great as it is, and how grateful I am to be on it, and how much it's allowing me to grow and to learn as a person in different areas of my life. I don't necessarily see it as, the long-term goal or vision for myself. So yeah, I got to do some soul searching a little bit within myself and really begin to figure things out more. Another thing is, I was thinking that, I just wanna, kind of get out of this little bubble that I've been in with, my hometown and the office and all that. And I texted my buddies today and said, hey, you guys want to go on a hike or something, this weekend? I'm like, I just want to look at some mountains or the ocean or some body of water or something like that. I just feel like I need to do that right now. And I think, in a way that kind of sums up pretty much everything that I'm kind of going through and feeling right now. And again, when I'm saying what I'm going through and feeling right now, don't think that I'm, struggling in any way, or that, life is very hard and unfair on me right now. It's not like that at all. Life is great. Life is always great. But times have kind of changed very quickly, and I've begun to notice it recently, and yeah, I guess I just want to take some time to kind of think through everything and think back and think ahead and think now, especially. But again, just do a little bit of soul searching and kind of rebalance and recenter myself and get myself back in tune with who I truly am and who I truly want to be in this whole game called life. Because as far as we're all concerned, we only get one stab at it. So of course you want to make it as great and as beautiful and as fulfilling and really enlightening as you possibly can. So yeah, that's kind of where, I know this is like a little bit of like a brain dump on all you guys today, but that's just kind of where my head's been at, that I've kind of been keeping offline from you guys for the past couple days. So yeah, and then also just a side note, I'm gonna have to cut this video in half because I have to get food for myself for today and tomorrow. So I'm gonna stop at the store, I'll cut it. As always, I'll hopefully regain some thoughts and regain composure and talk to you guys for another 10 or so minutes. But yeah, you know, if you're kind of, I know I'm kind of being very transparent in a way, vulnerable with you guys, but you know, again, I'm kind of willing to make that sacrifice, you know, to kind of put myself out there and put myself on the chopping block and in the spotlight. I'm willing to do that, willing to make that sacrifice if, you know, it helps you guys in any way possible, whether it opens your eyes to something, it offers you some sort of kind of virtual shoulder to lean on, and let you know that, you know, you're not alone in the way that you think and the way that you feel and whatever you're going through, you know, in your life currently. You know, I'm kind of very willing, I've learned, to, you know, expose myself a little bit, if it can benefit you guys in any way. So yeah, and that's kind of why I like this channel a little bit, because again, I know, you know, my name is literally on it, and all you see is my face all the time and no one else's, and especially today with this video, I'm talking about me. But it really is for you guys at the end of the day. As much as it helps myself, you know, helps me to kind of think and talk and deal with things in the moment, and I can kind of look at these videos and they can help me, you know, with whatever I'm going through. It really is all for you guys at the end of the day. And again, just trying to be a servant and help you guys out as much as I can, because, you know, of course everyone is different and everyone's lives are different and everyone's worlds are different, but again, I think we can all learn a lot from each other, and we can all realize that we're kind of all going through the same things, just in different lenses. And yeah, so yeah, that's kind of why this whole thing's meaningful to me. But I'm here at the food store, so I'm gonna cut it and I'll be back in a few minutes. Bye. All right, we're back. Got some food for today and tomorrow. But yeah, so kind of going back to the beginning of this video, you know, there really is so much to learn, you know, and discover in this life, and so many truths to uncover that, you know, if you're kind of like me, at first it can be very overwhelming, but you know, once you start to embrace and see the opportunity behind it, it's really quite empowering, to say the least. And you know, kind of again, like me this morning, once you get exposed to all these truths that you never even considered or had even begun to consider, you know, it kind of just amplifies that feeling. And it brought me back, because I was thinking about it today, it brought me back to this little thing that I heard a couple weeks ago, that I actually mentioned in one of these videos, again from a few weeks ago. And pretty much what they said was, say when you go to the gym and you work out, you feel very weak but in reality you're getting stronger. And when you learn new things, you feel very dumb at first, but in reality you're actually getting much smarter. And there's a third example that I'm kind of forgetting in the moment, but the last example they say is, and when you begin to invest in yourself, at first you feel very poor, but in reality you're actually becoming much wealthier. So again, kind of realizing that I was getting exposed to all these entirely new truths, and it was very overwhelming, and I felt poor, right? But in reality, in hearing those things from this podcast, even though I say felt poor in the moment, I was actually becoming much richer as a person because of it. So again, it's always just the perspective of how you look at things that can make all the difference. So with that in mind, always try to find the good in everything, and to shift your perspective to allow everything to be a positive and to be an opportunity of some sort, and to be that door, that gateway that allows you to level up in a way in life, and get one step closer after another to achieving all your goals, and allowing all your dreams to become realities and all your visions to become physical, and really just become the person that you want to be at the very end of the day. Become your ideal self, live your ideal life, live in your ideal world, and everything else. So yeah, what that means for me is that, sure, there's so much to learn, and I'm sure a lot that I won't be able to get to, unfortunately, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to be as curious and open-minded, and try to be as much of a sponge of all this knowledge as possible. And again, if I like it, awesome. If I don't, that's also awesome. I'll be able to pick out something from each and add it to my own personal, unique tool belt in a way. So not really too worried about that. But yeah, don't really have too much to say besides that. But yeah, I guess just know that there's always a lot more to it than you think, and that's quite literally the case, because there's a lot more to it than you think. Right? There's a lot more out there. There's so much to learn. There's a lot more to it than you think. There's a lot more than what meets the surface. So yeah. With that, I guess it's also fair to throw out that there's a lot of truths and a lot of rabbit holes and a lot of paths that you can go down with what you decide to throw yourself into, in a way. But with that said, try to make it the most positive or meaningful or fulfilling things possible. Don't try to go down this road that really only leads to negative emotions and perspectives and realities. Because what good is that? If you have the choice, and you have the control and the power to, either be sad or happy at the end of the day, why would you choose sad if you don't have to? Of course, being sad is kind of a necessity, because, the word happy wouldn't be the word happy if it wasn't for the word sad at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be sad sometimes to really feel and enjoy and savor those moments of being happy. You need both. it can't always be all sunshine and rainbows all the time. You know, you're gonna need the dirtier and uglier and whatever else parts of life too. You know, because that's what makes all the good parts so good. And I think that's really the beauty behind it. And again, coming back to the last two videos, it's always a balance of the two. And you get to decide what the balance is. And my recommendation is to find that balance and make it a balance where you are experiencing as much pleasure as possible, and you are living as fulfilling of a life because of it as possible. I think life is far too short to just, you know, sim through it, right? Just wake up at the latest hour, you know, don't skip breakfast and go straight to work and come home and eat some fast food for dinner and toss on a Netflix movie or two, and then just, you know, stay on your phone until whatever hour at night just to go to bed late, get minimal sleep, you know, wake up as late as you can, you know, and do the same thing. I think life is too short just to play the easy, comfortable game, you know, to kind of just sim through. It's not easy, of course, but that's what makes it so beautiful and so fulfilling, is that it's not easy. But there's so much out there, you know, so much to see and to learn and to feel and experience and all this other stuff. There's so much out there, man, that, you know, you just kind of gotta bite the bullet and go through those harder times mentally, physically, spiritually, and really just go through everything and experience and do everything in life that you can to really just do the most beautiful dance and paint the most beautiful picture and just live the most beautiful life while you can. So yeah, with that, remember that there's a lot more to it than you think. Remember to ask me questions. And yeah, as always wishing the best for you guys. Just know that whatever you're going through, I'm always cheering you on. But yeah, so tomorrow's Friday, beginning the weekend tomorrow. So we'll talk then. Bye.